Hey everybody, this is CJ. Welcome back to the channel. Today with me is Black Shadow,
Howdy, folks. Evening.
and we're going to be talking about our upcoming content on the channel. So stay around and we'll give you kind of a guided tour of things we have planned for the near future. First, I wanted to start with just what have we been doing. So we just finished the Stoneburner Open a little while ago, and we took a little hiatus. Both of us had a little holiday. Shadow, how have you been? What have you been up to?
We've been fine. We've been busy. I dare say. I think we earned the break. Truthfully, I think we'd been gone pretty much solid, especially myself, solidly since like November of last year or something. As it turns out, running two back-to-back competitions with each other people is a lot of work. Especially when you give yourself basically no time in between tournaments. And literally, we ended the last one, but okay, Uprising. I know you won it. All right, let's get started with it. And off to the races. It's just spent, yeah, the last few weeks have been spent kind of spending time on my own channel. I do my own stuff as well on Black Show 993. I do Twitch streaming, bits and pieces like that, a lot of horror stuff. Also, in the midst of that time as well, I put my name forward and got accepted for a position as a competitive e-gamer referee with a company. It's not board games, unfortunately, folks. Unfortunately, it's like FIFA and stuff. But that's due to start hopefully in about a week or so. It's not so it's interesting to see how that's going to play around. Like the idea is it's flexible working hours, so it's kind of trying to make everything fit in around each other, which will be a continuous battle, I'm sure. But no, it's been good. It's been nice to have a bit of time away. You know, we've done Dune for like 6, 7 months solid. Needed a few weeks breakaway. You understand.
Yeah, for sure. Also, congratulations. That's a pretty awesome position and seems like kind of a dream position for you. So,
It seemed my wheelhouse. I was like, I mean, I
yeah.
do tournaments. I've done refereeing stuff. You know, if Direwolf and Mr. B's are all right with me running that first one over in North Carolina, then maybe I can be of some use somewhere or another. So I was like, what the hell? And yeah, went forward and went okay for now.
Nice. Yeah, for me, most of my time has been dedicated to personal things. One of the weird things of getting, but before about 2 years ago, prior to the switch over, like I was teaching and I had a lot of extra free time on my hands. And the channel was going really well then. I had a lot of time to dedicate to the channel. 2 years ago is about COVID, the endish of COVID. Then I got a new job and it's now a 9 to 5 job. So I have like very little time, I feel, to like work in the middle of the day, right? No time literally to do any content during that time. And then when I get home, I have like obviously some family stuff going on, like hanging out with my kid and like doing prepping her for school, stuff like that. So it gets really tough. And then on the weekends, then there's obviously, we all have things going on the weekends, and I have my priorities I've got to set. So for me, like the channel has fallen a little bit away from where I wanted it to be, from my production standpoint. Like, I would love to keep doing content, and I still, well, I'm going to be doing content. It will be a little bit less, obviously, than it had been in the past. But yeah, so a lot of
The
things have gotten in the way.
TLDR is adult life is difficult.
It is, and it's hard to balance trying to do something. This is a hobby, obviously. We do this for fun. I mean, we get like a little bit of YouTube revenue here and there, really, really little bit of YouTube revenue here and there.
Yeah. Let's not forget
But
the Patreon support.
and the Patreon support has been awesome, and we love you guys, and that's the reason we've been able to keep doing this, honestly. So, and we put that money back into the tournaments we do. So that's really what we want to do, is going to give that back to you guys. So, long and short of it is that it's tough. And since we don't do this professionally, I don't do this professionally, and I'm making a ton of money doing this. It doesn't bring
I feel like I'm doing it
the
professionally
bacon home.
sometimes. I swear to God.
But that doesn't mean that we're not gonna that we're gonna be giving up or anything like that. We're gonna be continuing doing some good content here in the future. So we wanted to talk about that. So first of all, we will have some new tournaments coming up, but we can't make a full announcement about that just yet because we want to do some tournaments with Dune Digital. Digital is something we're really close to. We really love Dune Imperium Digital. We're really excited for the Rise of Ix expansion release on that platform. But one important thing that we're going to try to do is hopefully be able to host or do something with Dune Digital and in the tournament scene. That's what we want to
Yeah.
bring for you guys.
I think this as well. I've had like a fair few people ask me about it as well. Obviously, we've done all our content with Tabletop Simulator so far. Obviously with the really impressive mods being developed from there. But digital, of course, is obviously as well Direwolf's own physical product. Bear in mind all the stuff we've done with Tabletop Simulator. That is ultimately its own sort of beast. And Tabletop Simulator has its advantages. And it also has its disadvantages, like anything does. And that's been born out, I think, with doing streams on both sides of it. Some people do definitely have preferences on what they see. I think especially with Uprising, especially, I think there's sometimes with the TF mod, there's so much going on, it can be kind of difficult to kind of convey and kind of properly illustrate what exactly is going at any moment. This is something that I've definitely had feedback on in comparison to the XIMO mod, and having done commentary for the last tournament is something that I definitely can appreciate and understand. While I think Digital's sometimes it can feel a bit utilitarian in its layout, it definitely at least gets the job done. And you can kind of look at any point and basically get a pretty good understanding of where you are at any point in the game. And what's going on. Maybe Garrison's going to be slightly clearer, I don't know. And obviously there's going to be some UI changes with the rise of Ix, stuff like tech tiles,
Yeah.
dreadnoughts, that sort of thing, which could get a bit menu heavy, especially for Immortality down the line, but that's a problem for the future, and yeah, I don't get paid enough for that, so... But overall, digital, I think overall has been a good platform. I think it's one that's definitely worth, trying to support. Maybe doing an event or two via that might well be a way to do it. It's something a little bit different. There are things that need to be resolved on that front, which is what we're kind of working on behind the scenes. So hopefully, as and when we know more, which hopefully we'll do fairly shortly, we'll be able to give you guys a more formal announcement on that.
Yep, definitely. Also, coming up, I am going to be posting my custom card set for Uprising, including some of the cards from Original Dune, Ix, and some from Immortality, actually. So look forward to that. And this is going to be just my personal list, the things that I like to play with and that make a really dynamic and pretty interesting setup for Uprising. So look for that.
Dare I ask, does it involve any cards potentially missing from Uprising?
It does, yeah. We're cutting some
I had a
cards
funny
from
feeling you'd say
Uprising.
that.
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah, it's mostly to increase the fun level and to reduce the amount of feel bad that happens sometimes with some of the card buys. Yeah. Also, right. We also I have a kind of cool thing that I'm going to be trying to do, and my goal here is to produce more consistent content in a way that kind of works for me and my schedule, and that is to do weekly Dune Imperium digital recordings and then posts for you guys, so you can watch me play, maybe fail, maybe succeed at Dune Imperium digital. I really love digital. It's really fun. I tend to do pretty well on it. The online play is a little bit like sus sometimes with people like leaving, so it's hard to get like a really good recording and then something I want to upload. I've seen like a couple of good streamers, couple of good YouTubers. Shout out to Bludgeon, who does a really good job of daily posting. I think daily or almost daily posting videos for doing digital. And so one thing that's really cool is like I followed him from the beginning, and like really interesting to see how he's gotten a lot better at the game over the course of his play. So he's a really cool guy, and really interesting to watch him play. But I'm not going to be able to do something like on the level that he has like every day. But I'm trying to get some videos of doing digital for you weekly, and yeah, it's just going to depend on the games I get and whether or not people like drop out in the middle and stuff like that, because it happens a lot. It really is annoying. It's one of the frustrating things about playing on digital platforms where people have a little quit button. So
yeah,
what
it
it
is a
is, but
thing.
yeah.
It's due. Hopefully, it's meant to be getting. That might be another reason why the Rise of X DLC has possibly been delayed slightly. And I did mention this in my preamble on the DLC a couple of weeks ago about they're looking to obviously hopefully bring like a ranked system of some form. They also did originally say they were going to bring in a karma system as well, which I then brought back to like previous versions, like with Game of Thrones, for example. That was Asmodee officially. And it might be maybe that there's some delays on that front, might be what's causing it. Unfortunately, we just simply haven't been told anything, so it's just pure speculating. But there is that system coming in, and there are other servers dotted around as well. And like if you organize a game in advance of people for stuff like that, like you're obviously not going to get the dropouts, that sort of thing. So there are ways around it, but it's definitely an area I think that does need improving.
Next thing we're going to be doing is talking about our wish list for Uprising's expansions. We assume there's an expansion coming. This game has done so well, and it's so good that it needs a good expansion. Hopefully, something that really, I hope, broadens the amount of play opportunities and options and like pathways to victory. I kind of like Ix did. I mean, Ix really is one of the best expansions I've ever played for any board game, and I played a lot of expansions for board games. I feel like it just makes that game so tight and so wonderfully like varied in the things you can do and the pathways you can take. So I'm hoping that something like that exists for Uprising, that they're working on something behind the scenes. So we'll talk about things we're interested in seeing, things we hope are in the next expansion whenever, if ever, it gets announced. So
I think so. I have a funny feeling. I know we spoke obviously with Direwolf when it came out. Obviously at like North Carolina Invitationals, and they have mentioned about the fact that in the short term there was no plans for doing Imperium content, especially for Uprising specifically. But we're past the short term now. And I think there are definitely a few areas that could be definitely addressed at. And I will also state at this point that if anyone in the comment section says that Reverend Mother Mahayam has to be a new leader, you're banned. Okay, you're just banned. I don't care. You can have your Patreon money back. I don't want to see you ever again. Get out of here. Don't want to hear it. Okay, I have
no.
enough
We
problems
don't want
as
that.
it is already. I don't need it complicated. Paul Denon, if you decide to do this as well, we're gonna have some strong words with you, my friend. Don't do it, please, for my sanity.
Do it. Yeah, so Mohayim, yeah, we all know that obviously Shadow has an issue of referencing Reverend Mother Jessica as Reverend Mother Mohayim. We all love to rib him about that. And it would be quite the funny moment to have
I
a
don't.
leader. I think it would be great. What do you mean? It'd be great. Then you can actually get completely confused when Reverend Mother Mohayim and Jessica are in the game at the same time. I can't imagine the comments to that video.
I might just retire. I might just this is passed me by. Uprisings, just going back to base student Imperium, kids. That way I can't be confused. Just go back in time 3 years.
Yep. All right.
Anyways,
All right. Last thing on my side is I am going to be bringing back the Conley. Or the Canley. I can never pronounce that right. I think it's one or the other, but who cares? Canley, I
it's your
think.
thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that they pronounced it incorrectly in the Dune, in the David Lynch Dune. Um, and I've been
Of
going
course
on
they
that one for
did.
a long
Of course
time.
they did.
So I think if you like listen to Frank Herbert's like pronunciation guide, it's not the way they say it in that. Anyway,
I trust
doesn't
that.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna be bringing it back. It's not gonna be live. In the past, it had been a live stream with some of our community members and our swordmaster. And from going forward, what we're gonna do is record it, and I'll compile it, and then we'll post it. And I'm planning. I want to get this done monthly. It'd be nice. I already have like 1.5 Canly like setups ready to go, and I just haven't. We just haven't been able to line up all of our schedules during the summer to get that to go, because so everyone's been super busy. It's been super hard
On
to get everyone
holiday,
together.
that's
Yeah.
why we took the break from the tournaments, to give chance for people to go enjoy some sun in that, because that needs to be done. Go have
Yeah.
some time to yourselves.
And I can't ask people to like cut off part of their evening on a Friday. It's really hard for me to ask things like that, and so we will go. It will come when it comes. It'll happen when it happens. But planning to get those recorded for you pretty sharply. So, anything else, Shadow? Is that going to be kind of it to wrap up?
I think it's largely. I think like obviously I had also been trying to do kind of like starting to sort of do like a stream a week or so, especially considering that we're not doing tournaments currently. So it was kind of nice to have kind of like a bit of following on content. Obviously, once Rise of X does eventually get announced, I will be looking to stream that on the day, all things being well. My expectation is, yeah, I think it's going to come out probably very start of August is my assumption. I would rather they spend an extra week on it to kind of get it working correctly, rather than trying to rush it out before it's fully been checked through. We already know, obviously, there is occasionally bugs that come up with doing digital art occasionally with the as updates come out. I mean, we've still got this weird issue at the moment where like if you send like a mentat to a harvesting spot, it still gets the spies 'cause it's lifting the agent before it's registering the spies. It's stuff like that. And I'm sure when X does come out, there's gonna be some weird interactions, maybe with, like unloading, whether that's gonna work 100% correctly. Obviously with like other bits and pieces. So it'll be interesting to see, but we will be looking to definitely do a stream on that when that comes out and whatever else. So it's just about while we're in away from tournaments for the time being, as people are away on holidays, we're still trying to cycle over the content a little bit, and still be in touch with you guys. And then obviously, hopefully down the line, towards back end of August, maybe even going to September, we should by then have a pretty good idea where we're at.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/hiddenassets. And we will hopefully be back pretty shortly with some new videos for you. So hopefully your summer's going well, and we'll see you, or in winter if you're down in Australia. A couple of our friends down in Australia there. We'll see you soon. Take care.